So honey fungus is a story about a giant mushroom, a giant honey fungus that lives underneath this town called Westleigh. It is growing rapidly and encroaching on the town, and people don't quite understand why this is happening. And as they start to do experiments on this fungus, they realise that it's sentient and it can actually in fact speak to people. But not only that, it can ask people what they want, and it can actually manifest and give people what they desire. So it's about creeping things that are coming into our lives at the moment. It's an inverse environmental catastrophe story. It's about technology. It's about authoritarianism. It's about a big mushroom. Bunkum Ensemble is a group of theatre makers and musicians and artists. Bunkum work with music embedded in the process, so we bring musicians in at a very early stage of development to work with physical performers to create these scenes.
But then also there's like a pulsating and a movement, and it's like you are all one organism together.
We use improvisation between musician and performer, and then we find a kind of emergent dramaturgy and then create a script from there.
We are 4 performers and 4 musicians, so it has been a joy to be able to kind of mix and collaborate.
I think for me, coming from the dance background, the most important part is the collaboration with the musicians and working with the music.
For me as a musician, I do a lot of improvisation, but I predominantly do that with other vocalists. And so this has been a really lovely kind of melding of using my instrumentalist skills and collaborating with people that move.
I'm handing my notice.
As musicians, we fall into like, this is how we do what we do. Working with someone like Jack in a situation like this just subverts a lot of what you do in a really kind of cool, interesting way.
So this is a 3-week R&D process with 2 weeks at the Point in Eastleigh with Bearface Theatre as partners, where we ran co-creation sessions over the course of those 2 weeks and developed characters and themes and the world of the show. And then in this last week at the Dome, working with the Dome and Brighton People's Theatre, we've brought that to a group of professionals and non-professional actors, and we've also brought science into the mix to see how we can mash all of these elements together into a beautiful interdisciplinary offering.
I think audiences will love how unconventional the performance is, and also how we explore the relationship between music and performance. It's something quite unique that I've never really seen before, and I don't think audiences have seen before.
Honey, 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 honey.
I think it's been really interesting to work on something which bridges a gap between quite a naturalistic and then quite a sci-fi and also quite theatrical language as well.
I think one thing that's really fun about it is it kind of sucks you into a world in a way that verbal text might not otherwise.
Audiences will hopefully love the magical realism, the recognizable aspects of everyday life, but then the other that comes along with it.
But I think they'll love the surrealness and the abstract nature of it, especially as the show goes on.
Next up for Honey Fungus, we want to take this to the next stage of development. So we're looking to develop the work to a first draft of a script, which we're very close to getting to, and then we're going to take hopefully out on tour. We think regionally in the southeast and Brighton, which is where we're based, and then maybe beyond that nationally, and then hopefully at some point internationally as well. It's an exciting time for the show and for the company to share this work.